What's up everyone, this is Tranquil Toys back with another review. And this time it's not really going to be a review, it's going to be more of a rant. If you follow me on Instagram you would have seen this already. Some bad things happened with this Terry figure, and it was basically like right out of the box he just started breaking. And here's what's left of the figure. You can see his leg is broken, his wrist broke, and then his ankle joint broke. Part of it is in the leg right there. So this is what's left of the figure. Basically what happened is pretty much right out of the box, his wrist broke. I went to swap the hands and I didn't read the instructions that said you had to heat them up. It does say to heat up the hands before you swap them out. So I guess that one's on me. But then what happened a little later, both of his legs are pretty tight. This one's not as bad, but his other one was worse. It made this sound, but it was a lot more stiff. And so I was just posing him around and then it broke. So you can see there the part that broke off right there. And the other half of the joint that's also broken. So that snapped off. And that was really dumb. That really ticked me off because normally when you pay almost like $100 for a figure, usually it's a lot better quality than something like this. And you're probably thinking, well, it's the way that you handle the figures. You handle the figures like you're a toddler. Well, that's not true because I own a lot of figures that are pretty expensive, that are $100 and sometimes even more. I handle all my figures the same, and this is the only one in recent memory that's broken. For example, the PW Toys Leon had this for several years. I got this for like $160, but it's really, maybe the retail price was like $120 around there, and still in really good condition, especially the body. The body is 1,000,000 times better than this Tunshi Studios figure, and nothing's broken. The clothes might be a little bit more wrinkly, but the body itself is very good quality and it is not broken yet. So this figure was like $90 to $100. Don't remember exactly how much I paid for it, from 5K Toys. And within the first day, it broke in 3 different spots. So the wrist broke, the leg broke, and then finally the ankle broke. By the time his leg broke, I was just like, whatever, I just got to take all the parts off and put it on a different body, because his body really does suck. So as I was taking the shoes off, one of the shoes came off easily and the other one just snapped. So again, another expensive figure that I have that hasn't broken and that I have handled the exact same way I handle all my figures. Same thing, the body is just a higher quality than the Tunshi Studio figure. Now this is my first Tunshi Studio figure. I didn't buy any of the other Metal Slug figures that they've made. This is my first Tunshi Studio figure, so I don't know. This might be a problem across all Tunshi figures, and it could very well be I just got a bad copy. But I'm assuming these kinds of problems are not just with one figure. It has to do with the quality of the parts, the quality of the material that they're using for these bodies, and it seems like that'll be a problem across all the figures. And hopefully that doesn't continue, because I was looking forward to getting all the figures from their King of Fighters line. But it looks like I might not do that now, especially since Storm Collectibles did just announce that they will be making King of Fighters figures as a part of their 6-inch line called Storm Arena. They'll also be making Darkstalkers figures. So I might just drop this Tunshi line altogether, depending on how those Storm Collectibles figures look. And it's really a shame because these figures do look really good. They look really close to the original art of the King of Fighters games. And there just isn't that many King of Fighters figures out there that are 1/12. So really excited to get this figure. There's a lot of hype. So I don't really have that much to say about the original figure, other than it sucks, because it's just bad quality. Also, the articulation on the original body it's decent, especially with the clothes on there. I did pose it around for a little bit and the articulation was decent, but it's just the whole joint setup is just horrible. So the solution to that problem was to take all the clothes off, take the shoes off, and then put it onto an extra Noda Toys body that I had. So this is called the Noda Man body, and the arms are a lot more skinnier, but honestly don't mind it that much. Skin tone doesn't really match a whole lot. I think it's close enough. Neck is a little bit tall. You can fix that by dremeling the head, and I did have to heat up the head in order to fit it onto the peg. After putting the clothes on, I think it looks pretty decent. The most important thing is that you get really good articulation And this is a really good quality body as well. Way better articulation on the knees. You don't hear that loud creaking sound with the legs either. And it's smooth, but it's not loose. And same thing goes for the rest of the figure. And then his ponytail falls off a lot. And again, another negative point against Tunshi. As I was posing the figure around, that part falls off a lot. And he has two ponytail pieces, which is okay. I also had to put some tack. I had to put some sticky tack so the cuff of the glove is not loose, because again, it was made for these arms that have a lot thicker wrists. These wrists are a lot thinner, so it slides around a lot. I had to put some tack to secure it in place. And the hands fit very well into the wrist pegs. The only problem is that his shoes don't really fit into the ankle. They just kind of sit there. They don't really lock into place. But I think this is a pretty cool figure. Now I can actually, you know, play with it and pose it around and do stuff with it. All the hands are good. The alternate head sculpt is good. The effects, those are good too, except I have no idea how to use the LED. I looked at the instructions, but the instructions are pretty much useless. So here's the effect. So here's the LED, I guess. It's supposed to turn on when you put the magnet on it, but it just doesn't work. I don't know how it's supposed to work. If you guys know, let me know, but I think it still looks, you know, pretty good. And you can get, you know, a decent pose like that. And then real quick, do some size comparisons. Jada Toys Guile, Third Party Vegito, Jada Toys Ken, Marvel Legends Cyclops, Bandai Namco Tekken Jin, Marvel Legends Iron Man. So that's pretty much all there is to say about this figure. I don't want to blame Tunshi Studio for, you know, for all of this, but none of this would have happened if they would have made a better quality figure. So super disappointing, but I was able to salvage it. But still, I do not recommend buying this figure, and I'm also going to be wary of every Tunshi figure coming out in the future, because this is really, really disappointing, really upsetting. I'm trying not to be too angry, but I have to be honest. This figure sucks. Tunshi Studio sucks. That's all I got to say. I'll see you in the next one.